Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. Let's head over to Davenport, UK, where some interesting developments are going on in the shipbuilding industry. Babcock International Group has been awarded £750 million for an infrastructure support contract for Royal Navy submarines. This is a multi-decade agreement. This is going to go on in excess of 20 years, where the Davenport site is going to receive multiple upgrades, including new docks, at least one, new facilities, and new jobs. Over 1,000 construction jobs will begin in 2024 with this new contract. So we're going to see lots of development in the Plymouth and Davenport area. So anybody that's in that area, if you're looking for a job, this is the place to go, I think, right here. They build some fantastic vehicles here and maintain the submarine fleet as well at this location. And if you love combat vehicles as much as I do, I think you'll love today's sponsor, War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. You can operate more than 2,000 planes, tanks, ships, and helicopters in dynamic, combined arms PvP battles. This exciting game uses incredibly detailed vehicles modeled down to their individual components, offering highly immersive gameplay. Enjoy the incredible graphics and details up to 4K resolutions. Authentic sound effects and music score creates an immersive atmosphere. My favorite part is the detailed ballistic damage X-ray graphics, how they show every round going through your target. You can play for free on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Use my link in the description to get a large bonus pack that includes multiple premium vehicles, a premium account, an exclusive 3D decorator for your vehicles, and much, much more for a limited time only. If you haven't played in 6 months or more, you get the same deal. Click the link in the description now. And welcome back. The ongoing success that's going on right now in the Pacific with the U.S. Navy Ghost Fleet working with our LCS class out there has triggered the next step in development. And this might be the future of LCS underway. One of the big criticisms I had, now we had many, was that there simply wasn't enough punch for these ships to be considered warships. They're more like Coast Guard ships with the amount of armament they have. But now that the LCS can bring with her multiple unmanned vehicles that bring the weapons, that bring the firepower, like what's going on in the Pacific right now, now we're going to take that to the next step. The U.S. Navy has officially requested for proposal, that's an RFP, a detailed design and construction, a DDC, before July 2024 for up to 6 different contractors to submit bids for the new design for the large unmanned surface vessels. So the ones that you can see right here, they look more like at-sea utility trucks because this was just a functional design to see if the concept worked. And this is the beginning of the Ghost Fleet, like ships like USS Ranger. Now, these ships are expected in their final configuration to be between 200 and 300 feet long and displace about 2,000 tons or less. They're not going to be that big. They're simply meant to accompany the LCS or other ships in the fleet that can control these unmanned ships remotely and bring the firepower or bring sensors. They can do mine sweeping or mine warfare. ASW modules can be deployed from these. And most recently, what was tested in the Pacific is the SM-6 surface-to-air missile test was wildly successful. So this is the future of the U.S. Navy going into this century, is to bring unmanned vehicles with our manned fleets, and these bring just extra punch on top of the weapons our fleet already has. So these multi-mission platforms bring sensors and weapons and give a purpose to the LCS. Very excited to see this. Let's head over to Thailand real quick. Thailand has been quietly, under my radar anyway, building a very functional and capable modern navy. Now, granted, they've been doing a lot of this by working with China and getting Chinese-based or constructed ships, but in the end, they've modernized their navy. And we're going to highlight it here today. This is the newly commissioned Type 071 Export LPD that is in the flagship, if you will, the crown jewel of the Thailand's Royal Navy. And she'll be getting 2 new escorts. There's a bit of a story behind this. So Thailand Defense Minister recently announced that they've suspended the contract to build 2 S-26T submarines. Those are conventionally powered, Chinese-built for export submarines. Those were due to be finished construction last month, and they weren't. They weren't ready. And there was no public information as to when they would be ready. So China's seeing some shipbuilding and construction delays of their own, and it's affecting Thailand. So Thailand, what they did was they said, don't worry about the submarines. We don't want them anymore. We want frigates. Now, this type of renegotiation is almost unheard of. Those would be 2 totally separate different contracts. I don't have any details as to the negotiations between the Thailand team and the Chinese team, but it is very unusual to have a submarine that's near completion, assuming that it is, to suddenly be suspended and go to a different class or entirely different capability of ship. We're going from submarine to frigate here. So what they're going to do is Thailand paid an additional 1 billion baht. That's almost a little less than $500 million to China for this change. And in exchange for that money and the money they've already spent for the submarine development, they're going to get 2 Chinese frigates. It's not clear exactly what Chinese frigate they're going to get, but that's the deal that they negotiated. It's very uncommon to have this happen. For instance, if you remember when Australia canceled the submarine deal with Naval Group, that was a huge disruption in the military industry, in industry total, because of the amount of money and time involved. And this was a much smaller scale event of something like that between Thailand and China. I would love to know more and what is going to happen with the S-26T submarines that are supposedly all but complete within 30 days of being finished construction. Is this an indication of the tofu construction happening in Chinese shipyards? Maybe they're not producing ships nearly as fast as they claim to be, and the ones that they are producing are not safe. Now, that's a little bit of speculation on my part, but we'll see if any more information comes out of that deal. The bottom line is China built 2 conventionally powered submarines to near completion, and we're running at least 30 days late when Thailand suspended the entire program and shifted to frigates instead. We'll have some of those instead. Yeah, very unusual. All right, so let's take a look at the world map here. Again, credit to the United States Naval Institute for this wonderful graphic that they produce every week. The United States Navy only has 232 warships, not counting support ships, supply ships, and all that. 232 warships in our entire Navy. And with that, out of that 232, we have 74 ships deployed around the globe. 74 out of 232. And out of the 74, right now, at the time of this recording, only 59 are underway. So 59 warships scattered around the globe doing America's mission. Let's start with the USS Ronald Reagan. She's underway in the Pacific, specifically in the Philippine Sea, part of the Pacific. Here's a great photo of her, U.S. Navy photo launching a FA-18 Super Hornet, part of the Dam Busters squadron on board there. And I love the motion in this picture. It's a very cool picture. I don't know what the operator in green is supposed to be doing, but he or she looks like she's just covering up her heads. Anyway, cool photo. This photo I had to add to today's briefing because look at this. This is what the average person, the average sailor on board these ships is doing on a daily basis. This picture reminded me a lot of myself, sitting at a console, wearing headphones, keyboard that we rarely use in sonar, but definitely trackballs. This is part of the same carrier strike group that is being supported by Ticonderoga and Arleigh Burke destroyers. There's multiple of them. This is CT2 Marvin Centeo in the Combat Information Center of an Arleigh Burke, standing his normal watch. So I thought it would be interesting to not just show you the ships that are out there around the seas, but the people on board and their daily operation, their daily routines operating these ships. This is what it's like to be in the Navy in a snapshot right here. So let's move back out. Same fleet. USS Carl Vinson is operating with USS Ronald Reagan. Carl Vinson is joined here by USS Jefferson City. That's a Los Angeles class submarine you can see right there. They're part of a multilateral multilateral annual exercise that is including Japan this year. This is Japan's Hyugu, if I'm saying that properly, helicopter destroyer. Now, I've already made comments as to what I think about that name, but there she is. She's a flat top that is operating with the Carl Vinson, doing an annual exercise together, just increasing our cooperation and working out any bugs in our communication. And so that whenever, if ever, a war does come where we have to work together, we've already been working together in practice and exercises like this for so long that it becomes a little more second nature. We understand how each other operates, and we know what to expect. But again, great photos of just crew members on board. Look at him getting ready to have this thing take off there. And a great photo in the background there. If you look carefully, you can see ships on the horizon too. I don't know what that is all about. Maybe that's the Chinese ships keeping an eye on us. Who knows? And this is USS Hopper. This is one of the 4 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers that's with the Carl Vinson that I was telling you about. Beautiful ship. You're going to have to give me a second if I don't fanboy over this a little bit. This is, I think, the strongest surface combatant in the world right now, the American Arleigh Burkes. They're packed with firepower. They have, ASW capability. They can shoot down ballistic missiles. They can also, communicate and act as a CIC central hub of communication for large groups of airplanes, fleet, people on shore. They can coordinate all those assets together as well as add to the fight. So one of my favorite ship designs out there. And it's going to be a shame to see them go. But we have like 75 of these. We're going to have these around for a long time. Anyway, this one's USS Hopper with the Carl Vinson in the Philippine Sea. All right, let's move over to the Middle East. Things are very busy over here. Lots of ships deployed. I want to initially just say thank you to everybody on board the USS Gerald R. Ford as they're getting refueled here by USS Laramine off the coast or in the Eastern Mediterranean. They've been extended. Their deployment is well past due for them to return home. They were scheduled, to be home for the holidays, and they may not make it because they're continually being extended in theater because of all the events that are happening over there right now. So I've been there myself. I've been extended. I've missed holidays. Hell, I've missed funerals because of extensions, and it is difficult. So if there's any chance that anyone on board is watching this, I want to say, tip of the hat to you, keep your chin up, and you'll get through it. Okay, these are tough times, and we really do appreciate your service when things like this happen. Also, USS Bataan and Carter Hall. They're in the Red Sea, hanging out over there with the 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit, just being ready in case we need them. And these guys have been at sea, I believe, longer than the Eisenhower, not Eisenhower, but the Gerald R. Ford group. So I'm sure they're tired. They're ready to come home. I'm sure the equipment is, seeing a lot of use, could use some in-port time. This picture is from the USS Bataan. I love the airplanes in this photo and the crew members on deck getting everything ready. So they've, again, are overextended, but they're staying on station for as long as the United States says that they need to be there, and they're performing very well. And what do you do for the 26th Expeditionary Marines just to keep them busy? Well, you let them do some weapon training here. And here, I love this photo. You can see the Marines there on the ready line. Clearly, they've been having a blast because that's a bunch of brass behind me there. They're going to have fun policing that up when they're done. But they're doing some weapon training, keeping their skills sharp. And I would not want to be a target for one of these guys because these guys will come and snatch your ass up. So big shout out to all the Marine Corps out there. I've had the privilege to work TAD, temporarily assigned, with a Marine detachment while I was in the Navy, and they are some tough hombres and funny ass characters to work with. Each one is, well, special, but I love them all generally. All right. I certainly do. And I wouldn't want to be, working against one of them. I'm glad I was on the same side as them. So here's to hoping all of you make it home by Christmas, and we'll be looking out for you. Hopefully things calm down over there and everyone can come home to their regular duties and see their families again. All right. And we have a special announcement here. Look at this. You guys want to see me? You guys want to have a beer with me? Maybe some dinner? I don't know, just hang out and chat? Well, I'm going to be at the Defense Tech Connect Expo in Washington, D.C. from November 28th to November 30th of this year. That's just in a couple weeks time of this recording. And I'll make myself available for interviews during the day, and in the evening, during the social hours, those will be off the record. No video, no microphones. I'll be happy to talk to you about things that we don't publish, okay? And so if you're interested in meeting me, this expo has an app. I am on that app, and you can schedule your meeting with me if you want a formal interview. Otherwise, be in the lounges. There's multiple lounges here, and I'll be at one of them, probably having a vodka and tonic, all right? So I'll see you guys there. If you ever wanted to meet me, I'm available for a couple days. I look forward to seeing as many of you as can make it, all right? See you there. And don't forget to use my link in the description to get a large bonus pack that includes multiple premium vehicles, premium account, and an exclusive 3D decorator for your vehicles, and much, much more for a limited time. Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring this video.